Writing effective thesis statements and topic sentences is an important skill that our ninth grade English students should master. They first need to be reminded what a thesis statement does. It expresses the writer's position and makes a claim that is arguable. It's also always included in the opening paragraph, and most importantly, it answers the writing prompt and tells the reader what to expect from the paper. When writing thesis statements, students need to understand what the writing prompt is asking. They are being asked to prove an abstract idea by using the concrete evidence. This aspect of an abstract and a concrete can be very confusing to some students. In order to write this thesis statement, they must have a subject, which is the abstract portion of the prompt. They must have a concrete element, which will be the literary devices that are supporting the claim, and then most importantly, the claim, which is the student's opinion about the subject. Here is a sample of a writing prompt to make this concept easier to understand. Read the passage carefully. In a well-written essay, explain how the author uses imagery, figurative language, and detail to characterize Scrooge. Now, when explaining this to your students, you might want to walk through these questions. What are the questions of the prompt? The abstract is, what kind of character is Scrooge? And the concrete, the literary elements that reveal his character. And then the claim about Scrooge's character will be the student's opinion. Here's a thesis statement that a typical ninth grader might write. In A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens, the author uses many different types of figurative language to characterize Scrooge. So we ask the student test that thesis statement to see if it is effective. What is the subject? That's the abstract element. That's the characterization of Scrooge in A Christmas Carol. What elements are revealing that characterization? Well, according to the thesis statement, different types of figurative language. And then finally, what is the author's or the writer's claim about Scrooge? This is actually missing from this thesis statement. It just says that he is characterized by figurative language, but it does not express what type of character Scrooge is. So it would not be effective. Let's look at a thesis statement that would be more effective. In A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens, the protagonist Scrooge is portrayed as the archetypal greedy, cold-hearted character through Dickens' use of figurative language such as similes and metaphors. Ask your students, does it answer the questions? What is the subject or the abstract element? What are the literary elements that are found? And what is the writer's claim? This time, this writer chose to characterize Scrooge using figurative language like similes and metaphors as greedy and cold-hearted. So there is the arguable claim. Activity 1 is a good activity to use with your students in a whole group setting, or maybe even in small groups once you've gone through the 2 examples. They should read the following thesis statements and identify the subject and the writer's opinion in the thesis statement. Write one sentence that specifically explains what makes each an effective thesis statement. So the prompt is first, read the following drama carefully, then in a well-organized essay, analyze how the playwrights use dialogue and stage directions to reveal the complex character of the protagonist. So in the writing prompt, we see that our abstract element would be the complex character of the protagonist. We would also see that the concrete element would be the use of dialogue and stage directions. So here would be the thesis statement that would follow that essay prompt. In the Diary of Anne Frank, Goodrich and Hackett use dialogue and stage directions to reveal a young heroine who is an ordinary teenager with extraordinary maturity. Take a moment and evaluate this thesis statement. You would find that the subject would be the young heroine, the literary elements, stage directions, and dialogue, and the claim that the young heroine is an ordinary teenager with extraordinary maturity. This thesis statement is effective because it contains an abstract element and concrete evidence that answers the prompt by giving a claim or an opinion that this particular character is ordinary with extraordinary maturity. You will be given time after topic sentences to go back and complete the prose prompt for To Kill a Mockingbird. You will have your prompt, your thesis statement, and questions for evaluation. But before we cover this, we want to talk about topic sentences. Topic sentences explain or introduce the major points found in the thesis statement. These sentences are found at the beginning of each body paragraph. It is very important that topic sentences relate back to the thesis statement. On activity 3, you're going to see some topic sentences that are used to support this thesis statement. In the poem, Those Winter Sundays, Robert Hayden uses imagery and sound devices to portray his father as an unsung hero and to acknowledge his own lack of gratitude. You're given 7 topic sentences. Pause the video now and read through these 7 sentences. Put a check mark beside the 4 that you see as good topic sentences. Now that you've read through the 7 sentences, you probably decided that number 1 is a good topic sentence. Number 4 is a good topic sentence. Those 2 are the strongest of the 7. However, you could also use number 5 and number 7 as topic sentences. As a closing activity with your class, you could assign topic sentences for them to write to this particular prompt and thesis statement, or to a different prompt and thesis statement that you provide.